A typical day filming RuPaul's Drag Race is a very, very long day. Now, I probably, unlike the average female, take just as long as it takes RuPaul to get ready. We probably arrive around between 6 and 6:30, and my makeup artist gets there at 7, and we start makeup at 7. Now, I know in television, especially in scripted television, my friends that work on sitcoms and TV shows think I'm insane for giving hair and makeup different time. They usually just do it once. They'll be doing hair at the same time the makeup artist is doing makeup. But I found over the years that's detrimental to my face, because when the makeup artist is trying to do eyeliner, the hairdresser then decides to pull and it doesn't work. So I give each one 2 hours, even if that means 3 less hours for me to sleep. So I get there, I'll start makeup at 7. Hair comes at 9. So then at 11, styling comes. And between 11 and 12 is when I have to hit the main stage for RuPaul's Drag Race to start judging. So it takes me 5 hours to get ready that I could probably do in 2 hours. But I want everybody to have equal time. And that's when I feel best, because we can take our time, sip our coffee, and have a little chin wag. Deliberation days on RuPaul's Drag Race, if we start filming between 11 and noon, when all the girls are there the first few weeks, we don't get done till 9, 10 o'clock at night, with an hour break for lunch. It's a really long day. There's not much that you don't get to see. The girls go one by one down the runway. We do it 2 takes. They do it once with music and once without music, because you have to hear the comments. And other than that, that's it. Everything is as you see it. It's a well-oiled machine. We're about to start filming our 11th season. So at this point, it's been the same crew throughout. And they know how Ru works, they know how World of Wonder, the production company, works, and they certainly know how I work. So it's a long day, but it's a fun day. The crew is a huge crew. The best lighting people in the business work on RuPaul's Drag Race, because people forget that under all that glamour, Ru is a man. And it takes a certain kind of lighting to create the illusion, not just for Ru, but for the contestants as well. For me as well. I'm a woman of a certain age, and they've got the best lighting people in the game. And I think that's the most important, and of course our cameramen. And as a matter of fact, I think on season 9, we did a crew makeover. Every season there's a makeover, and sometimes it's mothers, sometimes it's military, so whatever it is. And this past one we did crew makeovers, and that was our favorite episode ever. And that was really, really fun. They're family to us. When we wrap, everybody gets teary, because we know we won't see each other for another, 9 months or so. So it's pretty amazing. The editing process, well, if we film, we usually film over the summer, and the show usually starts January, February, March, depending. So they spend that entire time editing. It takes that long, because think about it. If we film just the day of elimination, just elimination day, they film 5 days a week, weekends off, for 9, 10, 11 hours, and they have to get that part specifically down to about 20 minutes. Because really the elimination part only is about 20 minutes. The rest of the show is the girls in the workroom and challenges and such. Then you can get an idea of really how intense that editing process is. My part as a judge, as you could probably tell from watching RuPaul's Drag Race, is to be the tough love person, because I've been in this business since I'm 19 years old professionally, when I started in my little girl group, and I didn't have anybody to really give me any direction. So I was on my own. I had a really tough mother who was born and bred in Brooklyn, and she got me ready for the streets. That helped me prepare for my future in the entertainment industry, because I can't tell you how many times a week I'll audition and hear no. It takes more no's than anything to get to a yes. And I think these girls, a lot of them, the young ones, 21, 22, 23 years old, have had zero life experience in the drag world. They just went from YouTube videos, sitting at home painting their faces, to the stage of RuPaul's Drag Race without being in the clubs, without being on the streets, without knowing what it's like to really pay dues. With casting people out there, casting people rarely see past what's in front of their face. So for me, pushing them out of the box that they know that they excel in, that's letting casting people know that they have a future doing other things. They can change. They're versatile. They're willing to change at the drop of a dime. That's a director's dream, for a director to be able to say to you, too much of this, too little of that, and then they respond immediately. If they don't and they're hesitant, that's going to show a director, maybe I don't want to work with that person. So it's my job to push them out of their box so they can earn the most money that they can in that next year and push their career as far as they can go. I'm the type of person who likes to be surprised. So when I work on Ireland's Got Talent or I work on RuPaul's Drag Race, I don't like to know things ahead of time. I know that some judges and the guest judges are always prepared with the challenge, this is what's laid out in front of you, or they'll watch the video of what they did. I don't like to see any of it. I like to see it all cold because I feel like the judging is more pure. It's a gut reaction. It's an organic reaction. It's exactly how I feel in that moment. So I don't over prepare for RuPaul's Drag Race or anything. Whether I was on the X Factor or anything else, I wouldn't over prepare. I think there's something really pure to that instant gut reaction. And that's the truth. That moment of truth. It's a moment an actor prepares for. It's that reaction that you can't buy and really can't fake. That is the most believable. My first experience on television was probably when I was in the girl group, when I was in Seduction in 1989. I had never been on real television at that point. Now, I had done like a local television show here and there before that. We had these big, in New Jersey, all these big like dancing on air type of TV shows were out. So I had done guest appearances on those as a dancer or just as a club kid. But when it came to my real professional debut, it would be in the girl group. And that for me was a moment of, oh my God, this is what I want to do. This is what I've been fighting for. This is where I belong. How am I going to make this happen? I had no clue how I was going to make it happen, but I knew that I was going to make it happen. I'm a hustler and always have been. So at that point, when the camera went on, it was just like, hi, like I knew it. And that experience kind of changed my life for me. I did morning radio presenting. I was a breakfast show presenter for 17 long years. And that is a man's world. And that was really tough for me to push through that as a woman. And I was at the top of my game when I decided to step away because I realized no matter what I did, I was never going to be given the opportunities of, say, a Ryan Seacrest, a Graham Norton, a Chris Moyles. I was just never going to be given those opportunities. The first ratings book that we had in morning radio, we beat Howard Stern, and that might not seem like a lot here, but he has been and continues to be, even on satellite radio, the #1 radio personality of all time, more or less. So it was a really big deal. And I remember when that happened, that they offered me a contract instead of being a day player and kind of being tested. And the contract was AFTRA, which is, our union scale, which was $55,000 a year when the male counterpart was making at least $200,000. And I didn't realize it at the time. I was 26. It was my first radio gig. And I had no one to guide me. I had no agent. So at that time, I knew, oh, this is something different. And then through that, RuPaul was my radio co-host. He brought me into his show on VH1 that was already running, and they were rebooting it. And that's how our professional career began. We started on radio. He brought me in as his sidekick on his TV show, and the rest is history. So I think radio prepared me for television in many ways. I can do live TV, where I'm going to go out on a limb and say 95% of TV people cannot do live TV. Live TV with IFBs in your ear is a whole different breed of being able to do television. You have to think on the spot. You have to be able to react on the spot. When things go wrong, you have to be able to cover it up. So I think it's a gift to be able to do live television, and being live on the radio for all those years definitely helped with that. And you have to be able to know how to go on the fly. So I was lucky that I was able to show that I was more than just a radio presenter, but I was very proud to be a radio presenter because I was female and I was good. And I did what men did and still do, but better. Agents never have ever known what to do with me, ever. I go to the presenting department and they're like, you're an actor. I go to the theatrical department and they're like, you're a presenter. And then when I get to those departments, they love me, they want to work with me, they don't know what to do with me. It's been the bane of my existence. So I had to create things for myself. And I think that is very true these days, because agents don't work the way they used to work, where they go out, at least in the US, they don't go out and get you work. Managers would do that more, but agents are there to negotiate the deal. They are the art of the deal. They're not going to get you your stuff. So I think today with YouTube and all these different avenues and outlets, people are more likely to create their own stuff. And that's the real ticket in. Be unique, be uniquely you. Stick with it, because 20 years down the line could be when you hit. I'm not saying don't get another job, because you do have to pay your bills, but never give up the passion for what drives you. My favorite thing in my job is being able to have a platform to affect change. I know that might not be what people think. People might think, oh, I love judging drag queens. And listen, to me, the best part of that job in particular is seeing the amazing talent in these kids and seeing their dream become a reality. The same thing on Ireland's Got Talent, seeing people that thought that they were down and out, their life was over. I mean, I'm being dramatic here, but maybe, my golden buzzer was an 81-year-old woman who had always wanted to perform in front of people and did perform in local pubs here and there, but this was the biggest stage she had ever been on. This was her moment. It was the most rewarding, beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And that's amazing, yes. But for me, having a platform to affect change for the youth, I have 2 teenage daughters, they're 16 and 18, and being able to have a hand in how we change and shape the future for them is a really big deal for me. We can affect change positively if we're willing to go out on a limb and do so. So I am an advocate of the LGBTQIA+ community. That's why I'm here on Earth. That's what I'm here to do, besides entertain. So I am grateful that this allows me to be a positive voice. If I were a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race, I'd slay the lip sync. I'd be really bad at a sewing challenge, and so would Ru. But we've often talked about the fact that if I know that I'm going on RuPaul's Drag Race, you can best believe I am going to sewing classes. I would find out how to make what works for me, one pattern in all different ways. I'd be really good at makeup. I'd be terrible at any kind of hair challenge. I'd be great at acting challenges, group challenges, and I'd be really good on that runway because I'm charming. The biggest challenge in my career is something that I still face. It's proving to the world that I'm a performer, I'm an actor, I'm a singer, I do all these things. And I think that once you're a judge on a reality show or a host, again, people don't want to see you in any other roles apart from that. And when I sing, people will come see my live show and I sing and they're like, oh my God, why are you not on West End? Why are you not on Broadway? My degree's in musical theater, but people don't know that. So I think that's something that I still fight to this day. And again, I'm going to be 50 years old, proudly so, and I'm still fighting for that part of my career. It just goes to show you the stick-with-itness is really important. I started when I was 19. I wouldn't still be here if it wasn't working and if I didn't have the tenacity and the grit to stick with it. I would have gone, you know what, I can just go work at Whole Foods and I'll be really happy selling natural skincare. But I have a passion that drives me. So for me, it's something that I'll fight and I won't give up until it happens. So you will see me on Broadway. You will see me on West End. You will see me on sitcoms, in film and all that. Maybe the time isn't going to be until my 50s. Who cares? I celebrate each and everything as it happens. And I think it's important that we do that. But don't give up.